Welcome to Kart Class, brought to you by 18 times Australian champion David Serra. Kart Class strives to give kart racing drivers the fundamental driving skills, kart setup, and the mindset required to take you from beginner to winner. Your host, David Serra, has over 25 years' experience in kart racing and is the most successful driver in Australian history.
G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Kart Class. Today we're going to be discussing how my times are quicker on older tyres than they are on new tyres. So we see this happening, not so much quite a bit, but you get it from time to time where you're sitting these amazing lap times in practice, you're really confident with the testing that you've done, and then you get to the race weekend or you get to qualifying and you've bolted your so-called new tyres on that you expected to drop hopefully, those 1 to 2, maybe even 3 tenths faster. And unfortunately, you're going through this qualifying session, you're just looking at lap times going, I'm actually going slower than what I was yesterday in practice or this morning in practice. So, so some of the things that could be causing the older tyres to be faster than the newer tyres are straight away that it's a great sign that you've got too much grip in the kart, because the older tyres, as the tread pattern wears down, the kart starts to gently slide around the corners. So with that slide, especially in our low performance classes, that can actually help the exit speed because the kart's not getting stuck to the circuit and it's not making the engine labour out of the corners as well. So then you bolt the new tyres on, gives you that extra grip, the extra stickiness to the rubber and the circuit, and that's just bringing the engine power down. So it's like a handbrake coming out of the corners. Another thing is to try and make note is that on old tyres, if the kart feels amazing to drive, that's not normally a good sign as well, because generally what happens is you want the kart to have a little bit of a gentle slide on these older tyres so that you know that once you bolt that extra grip onto the kart with your new tyres, that fixes up that slide. Generally what happens is in practice, if the kart's like, oh, mum or dad, it feels amazing to drive, this is just so, it's just a breeze, I love it. The problem is that when you bolt those new tyres on, that additional grip obviously makes it too good, and then you've got nothing else to try and improve on your lap time. So that's another thing that you want to try and keep an eye on in practice is to, that's another thing you want to try and keep an eye on is to, making sure that your kart's got just that gentle slide so there's some room to move when the tyres get bolted on as well. So again, looking at the tyre, the indicators, those little dots that you've got in your tyres as well, seeing whether they're wearing evenly as well on the older tyres, because sometimes some karts have got so much negative camber that the inside of the tyres are wearing out quite a lot more than the outside. And then also on the rear tyres that the inside dot is, again, wearing out a lot more than the outside of the tyre as well. So at least then when you bolt new tyres on, you can sort of make some mini adjustments, whether it's to take some camber out of the kart or to widen the rear track or to drop your pressure so that they're wearing nice and evenly. That can also help you guys out as well. So it's a common trait, like I said, it still happens to the more experienced drivers from time to time. I've done it plenty of times where we're sort of, we're gearing up for a good qualifying session, and then unfortunately we've put the new tyres on and we've actually, maintained our speed where everyone else has had a 1, 2, 3 tenth gain, and we've fallen down the qualifying order, or we've actually gone slower as well. So it doesn't just happen to inexperienced drivers, it still happens to myself these days. And it just gets caught up because a lot of people do most of their practicing on older tyres, which is, from a budget point of view, of course, that's totally fair. And the thing is that most of our setup adjustments during practice are set up for older tyres. So that's the problem, is that we're making adjustments to make it feel good on a tyre that may have done 150 laps or 200 laps old, but we're never going to race a race event generally on the older compound tyres as well. So you're making something feel really good, and then you're going to race on a new set of tyres or even a 20 lap old set of tyres that you haven't done the testing around that particular tyre quality. So if you've got too much grip, that's generally a sign that the older tyres are performing better than the new tyres. So like I said, in testing, if you can, test a new set of tyres and make adjustments in the first 50 or 60 laps of their tyre life, because that's going to give you the best indication for you leading into races. But that's probably all we have today on this Kart Class episode. So again, if you've enjoyed the episode, please click subscribe and send us a review. And if there's anything you want to know more about or you want us to cover, please send us an email to kartclass.com.au and we'll be able to help you out in the future episodes. Thanks very much. Cheers.
If you've enjoyed today's episode and want to learn more about your kart racing, be sure to check out kartclass.com.au for driving courses catered to all skill levels.